So welcome to part 2 of Bill's Cichlid room vlog for July 2024, and this is the fish room. I don't really show it from this angle very often. So in part 1 what I did is have a look at all the tanks down this side, which is the left hand side, and we actually had a quick look at those 2 small ones at the bottom. And what we're going to have a look at in part 1 is all the fish on this side, which is the right hand side. So yeah, hope you enjoy watching. But the first tank to have a look at in part 2 is this one. So this is the breeding group of Gymnogeophagus bauxini that I got a couple of months ago. Now, to be honest, I've not had much luck with them. They were breeding at first and there was quite a few females that were carrying eggs, obviously the mouth brooders, the bauxini, but yeah, I've not had much luck with them. I started off with a group of 11 and slowly I've been losing them one by one, including the really big, like fantastic looking male, if you remember that one. If not, if you'd have a look back, I'll put a link in at the end on when I got them. But yeah, it's, I don't know, they just don't look very happy. I mean, as you can see, here's 2 which I think are the females. Look at the rest of the tank, they're all hiding. There's another one there. So I started off with a group of 11, I think it was, and I'm actually down to 7. So if I move this rock out the way and we can see what's underneath. So this was the one, I did lose 2 of the biggest males. So this is the male that I've got left. I think it's the only male that I've got, so obviously he is going to be the dominant male, but yeah, he hasn't like developed the knuckle hump or anything yet. But yeah, they are a really nice species, the bauxini, so I am like quite disappointed that I'm not doing well with them. But we'll persevere and hopefully things will turn around. So yeah, that's the Gymnogeophagus bauxini setup. So the second setup to have a look at is the Herotilapia multispinosa, the rainbow cichlid. So with these had actually started breeding again for me. I'll get a little footage in a minute of some of the youngsters that I'm growing on. I did put like somebody actually give me an extra one I put in, and it did change all the dynamics. It was another male, so I think I've only got 1 female. So there's, how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 altogether, and I think there's only 1 female. There is another fish in here as well, which is the sequoia. It is here. All it was, I didn't have any other tank to put it into. Obviously I've got some closely related species and I didn't want any hybridization going on, so yeah, I put her in here. She's a nice looking fish. I'll have to try and get a male for her. But yeah, the rainbow cichlids, yeah, I mean, I've done many videos on these over the past few years. They are one of my favourite fish. It's a fish that I'll always keep in the fish room, and I've always had them for many years. They are one of my favourite ones. I mean, the coloration in them, you can see that one there and this one here, the coloration's fantastic. When they're in spawning condition, it is unreal. Again, if you get a chance, have a look at some of the previous videos on them. But let's have a quick look at some of the youngsters that I've got growing on. So excuse the mess in this tank, I haven't had a chance to do the water change on it yet. I'm actually doing them after I've done this video. But yeah, there's some nice grow outs. Hopefully there's a couple of females in there. But yeah, it always amazes me with these, the difference in the growth rate. So these are all off the same spawn and they've all been in the same tank, they've all been fed the same. You've got this one here which is just over 1 inch in size, and this one here which is about 1/4 of an inch. So yeah, normally what I'd do if I was growing a lot on, I'd actually cull the small ones and just grow on the bigger ones. but there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only 7 in the tank, so I'll just leave them in there, see what happens. But yeah, this is the rainbow cichlids that I've got growing on. As I say, mainly with the hope of actually getting some females. While we're over with the smaller tanks, we have a look at these ones. So these are the Amatelania nanulatus. So this is the 2 that I've got left, which is a male and a female, which I'm fortunate about that. But yeah, as you can see, they don't look like they're doing that well. I mean, they're still alive, which is one thing, but I did have, I think it was a group of about 12 I had at one time, and yeah, I'm down to the 2. So yeah, I've moved it into one of the smaller tanks, just so I can keep an eye on them, and it's easy to medicate if I need to. Again, ignore the state of the tank. Like this is pre-water changes with me going away. Yeah, so as you would have seen on part 1, if you haven't, please do go and watch it. I have got a group of like more of them, just young ones to grow on. We'll have a quick recap on those. So these are the ones that my friend Phil actually gave me. So yeah, they're only small, they're about ½ an inch total length, these ones. So yeah, they've got a bit of growing on to do, but yeah, these look in really good condition. Yeah, so hopefully these will all grow on, and I will be able to get a breeding colony of them and make them more readily available. The other ones to have a look at while we're here, it's the guppies that I got at the Northwest Cichlid Group auction. The Japanese blue and red double swordtails. So yeah, there's quite a few in there. So they've been in there now for 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah, what I'll do, I'll put some of the wool spawn and mops in there, give them a little bit of hiding, and yeah, just let them do the things. The good thing with the guppies is they don't actually eat that many of the youngsters, so if they've got enough cover, before you know it, you've got hundreds of them. And now, those that did watch my video on the Northwest Cichlid Group auction would know I actually did get a couple of bags of Endler guppies as well, and I actually put them into this tank, but unfortunately the tank actually crashed overnight and I lost the whole lot. It's my own fault. It's the tank hadn't had anything in for a while, and instead of like priming one of the filters and putting something in there to stop, like I've got this, the rocks in there, putting something in there to actually stop the pH from crashing, I didn't. All I did was a partial water change on it when I got back from the auction, and yet unfortunately I lost all the endlers. So yeah, this is the guppies. Now, I mean, looking closely, I think there may be 1 or 2 of the endlers in there that might have jumped the tank. There's one there actually. Yeah, but they are really nice and colourful, these ones. So yeah, it's you live and learn. Even though I've been keeping fish for many years, you still make stupid mistakes from time to time. That's being tired, come back from the auction and not doing things properly. So in this tank, these are the rare cichlid that I got from the BCA auction in September last year. So this is the Amania Kenna. Now, I did actually pull a pair of these to try and get them to breed in the small tank. Funny enough, the tank that we've just been looking at the nanulatus in, but the male actually killed the female. So yeah, I wasn't very successful with that. But yeah, I've left them in here, and yeah, they have been spawning in here actually, and I don't know whether we'll spot any, but there are some youngsters sort of swimming around. Yeah, there's one there under the bogwood. So yeah, I've not been raising any. I've been so busy with work and everything, I haven't really got the time at the moment to be raising youngsters. Oh, and there's a cutter eye in here as well, the spare cutter eye. But yeah, the rest of them are the Kenna. So yeah, I mean, they do look very similar to the convict cichlid, but according to science, they have got a lot of differences. I actually did a species profile on these, so if you're interested in what the difference are, if you check that one out, and I'll give you a bit more information on it. So yeah, this is the Amatelania Kenna. Like, this tank I'm quite excited about. So this is the Cuban Cichlids. So there's a group of 12 in there. I got these from Ormston Aquatics about 5 or 6 weeks ago. I haven't lost any of them yet, which I'm really grateful for. Again, they are quite small. I think the biggest one's about 1.5 inches. But yeah, they are fantastic fish, the Cuban Cichlid. Yeah, so the Tensocanthus. So yeah, again, this is before I've done the water changes. In about an hour's time, they will be a lot cleaner. But yeah, so these ones, the Cuban Cichlids, as you probably know, they get up, the males will get to between 10 and 12 inches in size. The females will probably max out about 6 or 7. The patterns on them when they're adults are fantastic. But yeah, the idea is to try and grow some on, hopefully get a couple of pairs from them, try and get them breeding, move some of the other pairs on, and eventually try and keep a breeding pair of them. Again, in the UK anyway, they're not that rare a species, but they're not one that you see very often. Yeah, that looks like a male coming on with the pattern in the body. Yeah, but again, one of my favourite Central American cichlids, if you can call Cuba Central American. So this is the tank that's got me Mesmo haos festae in, a pair of those. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know I actually got these when they were like really small, about 1/4 of an inch in size. I think I had about 15 of them. Like I've grew these ones on. This for Jay there, this was one that I actually spawned and I didn't notice, but it was actually deformed if you look at all the face. So I've actually got it in there. And the other fish in here is the male Neotrochilus neotropolis. If anyone knows where I can get a female, if they let me know. But yeah, I was breeding these for quite a while. But yeah, they seem to keep the peace in this tank. The female is looking a little bit ragged on the dorsal fin. Hopefully that will grow back. She's got that nice red colour. The male looks fantastic. He's getting a good size. He's a good 7 inches now, 6 or 7 inches. But yeah, he does get quite aggressive. She hides a lot behind the bogwoods and that, which is why there's so much hiding space in this tank and behind the filters. But yeah, having the other bigger diver fish in there, if you want to think of them like that, it does help to keep the aggression down. There's a few times I thought they've actually been in spawning mode, but there's been no youngsters yet. They may well have laid eggs, but I've not actually seen them myself. Male's a fantastic specimen. Yeah, so that's the tank with the festae cichlid. The last tank to have a look at. This is the grandri, the Madagascan Cichlids. So I got these from Wharf Aquatics about 12 months ago, who were actually took in there by a subscriber of mine. He actually messaged me to say that they were in there if I was interested. So yeah, I got a group of 6 of those and I've still got all 6. That's a Mineri, female Mineri, so there's a couple of them in there. And I think that's all I've got in this tank. Yeah, I think that's all I've got in this one at the moment. But yet the grandri, so they were only small when I got them, probably about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and they've done really well. They've grown on really well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to them getting a bit bigger and hopefully getting them spawning as well. Yeah, so it's Madagascan Cichlid, the grandri. So I'll have to do a bit more research on these. Oh yeah, this is Spalaris in there as well, the sperm male Spalaris. I'd forgotten I put him in there. Yeah, so this tank's doing really well. Well, thanks for watching part 2 of Bill's Cichlid Room vlog for July 2024. If you haven't already, do head over to see part 1. Some of the fish that are featured on there is the 2 different species of uaru that I'm keeping, Nicaraguensis and the South American tank. So yeah, if you had hang on over there and have a watch of that one if you haven't already. And thanks for watching part 2, and I'll see you all again soon.